And welcome to the Break Room Sports Podcast, everybody. All right. Oh, almost forgot my year. Had to put one out there real quick. I'm in one of those moods today. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Phil, aka Scorpio P, in the place to be. Here live at Defined Motive Studios. You already know what time it is. Here with the one and only Ace the Legend, of course.
Who hate better than me?
Nobody, baby. Yo, Ace, crazy first week we had at the NFL, huh? We got a lot to talk about. How you feeling about it?
I'm saying some people's teams lost. I can't relate.
Some of us tied.
Some of us won too and can't relate.
You feel me?
And of course, the one and only Matt DiGiacomo is with me right now.
Please, it's Matthew. It's Matthew.
You better stop with that, bro.
Okay.
How you feeling this week, my brother?
Excellent. Having a great start to my school year. I'm really hyped to talk about these fights last weekend.
We had this
great
a
UFC.
couple doozies, and of course I'm okay. I mean, I could be a lot better.
Why? Your Broncos won, right?
You better stop with that bullshit. So, we got a lot to talk about, from Coach Hackett laying an egg to the Cowboys and their hopes even go more up in smoke than we previously thought. And of course, the presumptive Super Bowl favorites walking into the defending champions' house and throttling them. But we're going to start with my beloved Denver Broncos. So, y'all all saw what happened Monday night. Like, fantasy bullshit notwithstanding, we are going to have a look at our fantasy standings later on in the show as well. But that notwithstanding, I don't believe I've seen a more disgusting and just downright despicable meltdown that I saw Monday.
From who specifically?
You mind if I clear the paint, bro?
My business.
Go for it.
So, the two main people at fault here are both Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson. They're both at fault here. I don't know if you were expecting me to give either of them bail. I give neither of them. And I'm going to start with Hackett first. First year coach, I get it. Also the son of Paul Hackett, another famous coach during his time in the NFL. So he was destined to be a coach. You have to, I don't know what happened, but something was not clicking in his mind properly. I'm not sure if maybe the moment got to him, whatever the case was, for you to not only take the ball out of Russell Wilson's hand in the ending situation. I mean, we lost the game off of those two fumbles in the end zone. I think that's where the game was lost, to be brutally honest with you guys. But when it comes down to the situational football, this is what we killed Mike McCarthy for last year with his bullshit that he pulled in the wild card round. It was basically almost the same thing. Like, how does that not click in your head when you have all three of your timeouts with a minute 5 left on the clock? Instead of you calling timeout at the very least, y'all saw the Manning cast.
Mm-hmm.
Saw Peyton Manning doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Saw half the crowd, half of the Seattle crowd, bro. Not even the few Denver fans that were there. The Seattle crowd were like I watched every second of that fucking game.
They have 48 seconds left on the clock.
Bro. With all three timeouts. And Russ finally stops the bleeding at 20 seconds and calls timeout mercifully. But what I want to get to with Hackett really is, I'm not going to give him the benefit of doubt from this perspective. For all the preparation that I believe that you should have had, especially with the relationship that you had with a two-time MVP last year. Let us not forget. Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers last year and the year before that. Aaron Rodgers was the MVP of the league the past couple seasons, was he not?
Yes, he was.
And what famously happened to Aaron Rodgers in the past 2 playoff runs that Green Bay had with Nathaniel Hackett as his coordinator?
They got a case of blunderitis.
Incurable.
As James Dolan.
Hackett might have bit off a little more than he can chew here, and I hope that he gets his shit right. He's not going to have a better roster than this ever in his coaching career, I believe. Now, let me get to Russ. His return back was not so fruitful. I completely understand that. He understands that. What he also needs to understand is, not only did you make your way out of Seattle, you chose Denver. And not only did you choose them, they paid you for the next 7 years.
$260.
For 10 years, bro, we have seen Russell Wilson create magic out of thin air, especially in the fourth quarter in these situations. 10 years. You cannot tell me that he did not have the wherewithal. Maybe he was being nice to Hackett because it was his first time out there. But for you to have the stature that you have, or that you at least have built yourself up to have, how do you not take it upon yourself if you didn't even like the calls that were being played? He didn't like the calls that were being played. Jerry Jeudy wide open. Let's check it to Melvin Gordon. Cortland Sutton has Kobe Bryant beat to the punch. Let's toss it over here to Javonte Williams real quick.
That's not a call thing, though. That's a him thing. The ball is in his hands.
That's what I mean. If Nathaniel Hackett called that and you don't like that play, you can change that. You know that, right? We've seen you do this for 10 years. Sure, I can blame Nathaniel Hackett all I want, but you should have the wherewithal as the guy, especially in the building that you basically built. Was Seattle ever relevant before Russell Wilson was there?
No.
But
here's the thing about Russ. I understand what Russ's legacy is.
Mm-hmm.
But when we start boiling it down, we might be looking at Aaron Rodgers part 2.
This is my point.
In the
You're right.
first 2 years of his career, he went up against Peyton and Brady in the Super Bowl and went 1-1, right? But we also understand that was built off of defense.
Yep.
Russ has been Russ, yes, but I think we might have been seeing a little bit too much of big fish, small pond kind of thing. Because when you really start analyzing the last couple years for Russ, it starts off hot. Starts off amazing. Mm-hmm. But his seasons have the same trajectory as Kyler Murray's. Start off hot and flame out.
Ooh, that's pretty nice comparison.
So, I feel like, I think there's been a few times where we've seen Russ not play well in his season and because of it. Like, that got what? 1 playoff victory? 2? One of them is over Russell Wilson. And we know how we feel about Dak Prescott as a playoff quarterback. So it's like, when we really start getting to it, you say the last 10 years Russ has been making magic. I kind of push back on that. And I think maybe 7 of the last 10 years. But for the last 3 seasons or so, Russ has been pretty mediocre when it counted the most. And he played awful yesterday. Not just in the last 2 minutes, but also early in the game. And that also may be why Chuck Hackett didn't go to him to try and get that first down. He had his blunders as well. But here's the little bit of bell that you're going to see me give him.
Okay.
It was his first time.
Exactly.
However, as much as it was his first time, like I said before, brand new head coach, rookie head coach. You feel me?
Brand new everything. New
brand
owner.
New quarterback. ownership don't really have anything to do with the point that I'm about to make.
But I see what you're going.
No starters got any preseason snaps, and it's brand new everything.
Talk about that too.
That's an issue. We saw that go around the league, and for certain teams you can afford it. Like I think the Chargers starters didn't play.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City starters didn't play.
Yeah.
But those are teams that have had some type of established something. At least the quarterback has been there.
Mm-hmm.
You got a brand new everything. You decide to pop your cherry on Monday Night Football, going into Seattle, where you got to deal with their 12th man. I think they have 5 or 6 delayed game penalties because of that, bro. That's an issue. Preseason helps with a lot of that. If you got to go to silent count, at least you have some type of camaraderie with the O-line and the starting unit to be able to snap that ball without an issue. And there was times where they weren't coming out the huddle till it was like 12, 13 seconds left on a play clock.
Yeah.
You have any adjustment you need to make, delay a game. 5 or 6 delayed games is terrible. And that's not just on the coach, that's also on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of the situation, y'all supposed to save each other. It's supposed to be a partnership.
And that's where my main crux is with the both of them. That leads me to my last point, going down the stretch. When I talk about making magic, I'm talking about when it comes to, like the fourth quarter drives and stuff like that. He's second in the NFL when it comes to fourth quarter drives over the past 10 years. I think number one is either Brady or Stafford, if I remember correctly, when it comes to fourth quarter comebacks and overtime comebacks. So this is a situation that I believe if it's a failure on both of them because A, Hackett, if he should have called a timeout sooner to be like, let's discuss this, like, for all conventional wisdom aside, especially since it didn't seem like he learned that lesson in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers already. And it's also on Russ for him not taking that initiative and calling timeout, being like, listen, this is what I'm here for. If for how badly I've already played, I can't play no worse now at this point. Leave the ball in my hands. This is what I'm here for. I would have felt better if I could just say Russ played bad. I could feel better about like all of this. But the fact that no discussion was had, no communication for everything that they spoke about of the offseason, like, yo, we're gelling, we call each other every day. What was that?
You know what that is. That's the politician shit. And that brings me to another point about Russell Wilson. Now, in our community, meaning the African American community, there's a thing about Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
and,
I heard
you know what I'm
about
saying?
that before.
Everybody always talks about, it's a thing, black men don't like Russell Wilson because, they say he's corny, whatever, but it's just because he takes care of his family. Earlier this week, there was a clip of Russell Wilson running into practice, extending his hands.
You saw that shit too? Like he
me?
was practicing his like high fives when he got the tunnel.
Then on top of that, like, after this loss, there was something that happened on the internet that I thought was just an amazing revelation. A lot of those Legion of Boom era players came out,
Sherman
started killing Russell Wilson online. I can't wait to talk about this. Yada, 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 right?
Yep.
For some reason, he's dodged the criticism for leaving Seattle the way he did. But remember, he left twice. He left the first time. They wouldn't trade him, so he comes back all is well. And then he forced his way out the second time. He wasn't a free agent.
He wasn't.
So, character-wise, you see his former teammates that he won a championship with don't like him. There was the rumblings about did they throw it on the 1 yard line? I think the 2 yard line in the Super Bowl instead of handing it off to Marshawn Lynch because they was trying to prop him up as a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
There was that, and then you had the leaving situation. All of these things add up to who is Russell Wilson in the locker room
as opposed to politician Russell Wilson that always says the right things and does the right things in public.
His public persona that we see.
Are we seeing an Aaron Rodgers Part 2 situation?
Exactly, and I'll leave it here. The last thing Nathaniel Hackett said was, he was like, "Yeah, we should have went for it." So
you paid him $264 million to pass. To kick the 64-yard
field goal with all of your timeouts. Like it was
terrible time management.
So I find a collective fail on both parties. Like I think they better both be in your hate list, bro.
Hackett called the plays too, and I think that's a big issue. He didn't have to deal with calling the plays and time management and all of that extra shit in Green Bay
when he was OC.
Yeah. But he should have planned for this. He's head coach.
He should have handed the playbook to somebody else. You take over the play. You start calling the plays.
Yeah, like he should have. But that's his last name is Hackett. What you expect? That's hilarious. But yes. Also, something else that happened on Sunday night. So the Cowboys have lost Dak. At first, it was kind of like going like 8 weeks, and now all of a sudden, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the weirdest owner I've ever.
He had my favorite quote of the week.
What was your favorite quote of the week?
When he said, "Who knows? Maybe in a couple weeks, we might be making a decision on Cooper Rush versus Dak Prescott." That was my favorite quote of the week. That's the epitome of dysfunction.
Yo, like I don't get it. Like
you get it because you live in New York and you see James Dolan.
Yeah, absolutely.
But why would he want to foment that kind of discord in the locker room?
He was trying to elevate Cooper Rush.
Yeah, trying to.
I don't know how much you can elevate Dak, though.
I don't know how elevated Cooper Rush can be, but
Jerry Jones looked Dak Prescott in his face and said, in public, and said, "I overpaid you." You know how he feels about that. The fact that it took him so long to pay Dak in the first place let you know how you feel about Dak. Quarterbacks.
This is an issue. This is a real issue, bro. Yeah. You are absolutely.
He never believed in Dak in the first place. Even so much so that he wanted to go back to Tony Romo in his rookie season when clearly he was the better option there.
Like, Dak saved that franchise, and that's why they paid him. Huh?
Did he save them?
Yes, he did.
It was a combination.
They haven't been doing amazing things. They've won a couple playoff games, but they haven't really.
Because without Romo, they were going to be completely shit.
They wouldn't have been without Romo. He put Romo in that broadcast. Romo was coming back. And they would have had it. Yes, bro. He came back at the end of the season. Now.
But Dak hasn't brought home any Lombardi trophies. You know?
And I don't think he will. At least not anytime soon.
What I will give them credit for is this. They ushered in a new era of Cowboys football where we saw that Tony Romo era of Cowboys football wasn't going anywhere. They ushered in a new era. I will give them that credit because they did it without going to the bottom of the league. And, you know, the issue is I think they would have been better if they would have paid that after his third year. Because you would have got him on what would now be a super discount. Instead of just paying him last year, now you had to break the bank. And you had to pay him an unreasonable amount of money, and even now,
unreasonable.
That unreasonable amount of money, then looks reasonable now, considering what quarterbacks are going for.
Shit. Speaking of and keeping it on quarterbacks, want to transition real quick to the Thursday night game that opened everything up, because that was absolutely like. For those of you that have Josh Allen in your fantasy league, I hope you started him this week because you would have been
fuck you, Phil.
I'm not talking about Aaron right now. I'm talking to the people. And the Bills, my Super Bowl favorite. They were my Super Bowl favorite last year. See how that ended. But this year, like, I don't think anything's stopping them except themselves. Like they walked into Los Angeles on fucking banner night and said, douche to the defending champs, bro. 31-10.
They
Like
dominated that game, for sure.
he completed.
Bro, you keep saying that, bro. Listen, bro. They turned the ball over 4 times, bro.
It doesn't matter.
It does, though.
I want to believe so much that it does. I'm thinking to myself like, yo, this can't be sustainable. But you look at Josh Allen and you're like, yeah, it kind of can.
That game is more so about Stat Pafford fucking up than it was about the incredibleness that we saw from Josh Allen and the Bills. Like, we knew that they were capable of what they did offensively. However, when you start getting into what really happened in that football game, that football game was decided by the Rams offense and the Bills defense.
Yes.
I think Von Miller and what that pass rush is doing, bro. That pass rush is on some 90s cowboy shit. They rotating fresh linemen in every other series and shit.
That's what makes it so scary with their offense, even when they turn the ball over, because you already know their defense is gonna fuck you up. They don't care about turning the ball over. They just hand the shit to Josh Allen. He's gonna run over people.
Here's the thing about that.
It's like it's 70s football, bro.
Here's the thing about that, bro. You can get that off with people that can't score. The Rams' offense was terrible. They couldn't fucking score. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't secure first downs repetitively.
It was just Cooper Kupp all day.
But
You think if they play against another high-powered offense that they're gonna run into a shootout?
I'll ask you, if they played another team in LA this past weekend, do you think that game goes like that with 4 turnovers?
Versus the Chargers?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Ask Derek Carr. He had some turnovers in that game.
No,
Khalil
probably
Mack
What if
was
they
mad.
played the
The
Chiefs?
Chiefs.
You think that was
also-
working like that?
No, Mahomes would have still scored.
Oh,
He scored
God.
4 or 5 touchdowns.
Bro,
Word. You had the highest point total. Congrats to you on quarterback with 35 fucking points on Pat Mahomes.
Crazy.
And still managed to lose to Nick
Wow.
in the nth hour.
But honestly speaking, the Bills look great. But you talking about a very, very, very thin margin of error in that AFC, where you may not even be able to make it back to the Rams, to the NFC, to be able to play another team if you continue to turn the ball over at that rate.
I think the defense is going to mask that issue, and I think that's, if anything, you can credit that issue to maybe, like first week jitters or whatever, because everyone was turning the ball over this weekend. To your point, especially with the kickers and offensive linemen getting a bunch of penalties. Like, my God, like we were penalized like 17 times on Monday. So that's neither here nor there. But
There was a lot of expletives yelled from my room watching Matt Ryan fumble the snap.
a lot of shit, bro.
And
It was a lot of shit.
fucking Rodrigo Blankenship missing a fucking kick.
We're gonna get to Blankenship.
Wasn't the only kicker. It was
Wasn't the only kicker. We'll get to Blankenship later on in the show. But before we get to break, a highlight I want to point out here. Going to the WNBA real quick. The Las Vegas Aces. So
No relation.
no relation. But the Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA are looking to sweep the Connecticut Sun in the finals. Like, they just won the first 2 games. Kelsey Plum went crazy. Asia Wilson went crazy. Like, they are insane. I knew that they were going to make the WNBA finals. I wanted it to be like, I thought that they and the Chicago Sky were on a collision course, but John Cole Jones decided to shut that down.
Unfortunately,
And you thought,
you got the Suns missing one of their biggest stars in franchise history.
Yep, there you go.
Brittany Griner, so
Yes, once again, shout out to Brittany Griner, and we got to get that shit together real soon, like ASAP. Like, tired of it already. We know what the stakes are, but that's a whole other segment for another day. We gotta head to break. Pay some bills. Don't go anywhere, y'all. You already know what time it is. TBR. We'll be right back after this. Yeah, welcome back to the Break Room Sports Podcast, everybody. Yes, we're in here, episode 3. I didn't say it earlier, so I'm gonna say it now. The name of this episode, because I was talking about the Broncos and quarterbacks earlier, the name of this episode is Breaking the Horse's Back.
Pause.
Anyway, welcome back to the Break Room Sports Podcast, everybody. With that being said, let us continue on because we got some other things to talk about. We're going to talk a little NBA real quick. Well, not so great in the NBA. So, Suns Mercury governor Robert Sarver has just been suspended for 1 year and fined $10 million after an NBA probe of misogynistic and just horrendous workplace conduct. And this is not the first time that we've heard of misconduct in the workplace when it comes to the NBA and owners and those in the higher positions in these organizations.
Or him specifically.
Yep.
I mean that he was an analyst that used to be on ESPN. He was former GM of the Suns.
Yep.
Will tell you, terrible person. That franchise is cursed. Anytime you see a franchise with terrible ownership like that, typically cursed.
My Knicks fans, you see what we're talking about?
Just so happened to luck out with a Hall of Fame point guard and a shooting guard that scored 70 points in his second year in the league.
Facts.
Outside of that,
what did it mean?
see the way they just had that DeAndre Ayton situation, just had to pay.
Oh my God.
Dak Prescott all over again. Had to pay him a ridiculous amount of money. He's not worth all that, but
Any thoughts on it, Matt?
I mean, look, dude obviously shouldn't be around the building. A 1-year suspension seems like, I don't know if it's appropriate. He probably should not be allowed to do that job anymore. And they need to bring in independent arbitrators to.
So you're for removing him.
fix-
So you're for removing him completely. Nah. I see what I see.
Fuck him.
Yeah,
Once
He's
that
been
word
doing that
come out
shit
your
for
mouth,
years.
Nah, exactly.
chop him up.
Exactly. Hey, they did it with Ronald Sterling. They can do it with him too.
Or you know
Donald
what?
Sterling.
Instead, we could
Donald
just
Sterling, I
we
mean.
could just book him for a fight against Chimaev. see how he fares in the octagon.
Yeah, another one.
Speaking of Chimaev, quick segue, because then we had some fights over this weekend. Well, we had something of a fiasco of a night when Chimaev didn't make weight.
I feel like it's extremely ridiculous for a nigga to come in 8 pounds overweight.
What the fuck?
You could say whatever you want about the doctors telling you that it's not healthy for me to continue cutting weight. That just means that you've been fat for a long time instead of being fat for a short time. You should have been in weight, in phase. It's ridiculous, bro. For the people that don't know, Khamzat Chimaev came in damn near 10 pounds overweight,
Lord.
couldn't cut the weight, which meant that they had to change the main event, which meant they had to change the co-main event, which meant they had to change another fight on the undercard.
It all worked out for everyone involved
Did it?
except for Leach. Leach had
didn't
to
work
fight
out
a
for
much
Leach?
bigger.
Didn't work out for Kevin Holland. Also,
Definitely didn't work out for Kevin Holland.
But he wanted the fight. He had
course he wanted the fight.
beef with
Fight.
Chimaev.
he wanted to
They
fight
were-
with a training camp, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get called the day before saying, "Do you want to fight this overweight motherfucker?"
But they weighed exactly the same. Kevin Holland and
That
Chimaev.
doesn't matter, though.
And Nate
I don't think
Diaz's
that's-
last fight was much better with an opponent like Tony Ferguson, who's another great vet. Instead
You're
of
saying that without knowing.
person that benefited
What happened?
was
Was who?
probably Diaz. It benefited him a little bit.
Maybe,
Khamzat.
maybe not. Because Nate said he didn't do any striking. First of all, we know
He
the
didn't do any
cut, the
striking at all.
cloth that Nate is cut from. He's a Gracie black belt, bro. The sex positions that Chimaev put Kevin Holland in,
That was weird. That was fucking weird.
because it got sexual, bro. It got sexual. He did not have control over his body. The position, he wasn't going to put Nate in them positions, bro. Especially not if he was weighing what he was supposed to weigh. Because we also got to take this into consideration when we start talking about being
on weight. It means that you sacrifice whatever you had to sacrifice to hit that scale at the weight that you're supposed to hit that scale.
That's all.
Regardless as to what it takes out of you. So we don't even know if Chimaev would have been able to rehydrate and bounce back efficiently enough to be that same powerful Chimaev we saw in the Kevin Holland fight. Another thing that we also got to examine is the fact that Chimaev said he would do anything to be able to fight at that weight on Saturday evening. He said that he didn't care what he had to do. He gave his whole fight up, his whole purse up to be able to fight at that weight. So you wanted that 10-pound advantage. Nah, to the weight that he was at, as opposed to the weight that he was supposed to be at.
Yeah, 180.
Yeah. So he wanted that for a reason. That's a very specific advantage to have over somebody that actually went through their weight cut and did everything to be 10 pounds lighter than he was on Saturday evening, bro. That's a whole nother weight class. In boxing, that's 3 weight classes.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, that matters. And I don't think he's folding Nate into a pretzel the way that he folded Kevin Holland into a pretzel. So now we got Kevin Holland with a Chimaev loss on his resume without a training camp. Leach got robbed. And Ferguson lost to Diaz without a training camp for Diaz.
In Diaz's last fight.
But
for
they,
UFC.
they were all compensated financially. They got paid a lot more.
What does that mean, bro?
That's great for the fighters. What do you mean?
Nah, I mean, yes and no, because, like, you may be getting more money here, but, like, for Kevin Holland, right? If Chimaev becomes champion of that division, Kevin Holland is never going to get a title shot.
That's right. It kind of has a
might
ripple.
not.
It has
So,
a ripple,
yeah,
it
you
has
got a little
linear-
bit of extra bread
ripple
here, but,
effect.
bro, Leon Edwards lost to Usman and had to win 10 straight fights to be able to get a title shot, bro. You know the way that UFC shit works, bro. It's like, if we saw you lose definitively to this individual, then what is my incentive to put you back in here?
Yep.
You got to go on a crazy streak. And
Yep,
the
you
thing
gotta build
also
that
is that
shit
in the
back up.
UFC, most fighters will average like 3 fights a year. So it takes a long time to build like a 9-10-0 win streak.
And then who do you have to fight in the interim? Like, bro, that is not a light division by any source of the imagination. There are 4 people in that division right now, middleweight, that could be the champion of that division. Gilbert Burns could easily be the champion of that division. Kamaru Usman could easily be the champion of that division. Colby Covington could easily be the champion of that division. And then you got Leon Edwards, who is the champion of that division.
And now,
So you would have to, like, go through all of these people to be able to get that shot again because you fought Chimaev on the last minute because he couldn't make weight.
but Khamzat hasn't faced that much high level competition outside of Burns. Is the only, and
I think he
beat
lost.
Leach.
I think he really lost the Burns fight.
Yeah, I don't think so because he was initiating. He was the one who was walking forward and creating the fight. It was very even, and Burns outstruck him. He hit more significant strikes than Chimaev did, but Chimaev
I feel like
had
coming
control
forward
for longer.
I feel like the narrative of whoever's walking forward in combat sports is such an outdated mindset to have when judging a fight, bro. Like, we've seen people who've been on a back foot the whole fight completely dismantle somebody.
Yeah.
On a back foot. Like, I don't feel like that's the bar anymore. But
It's
I
not
respect
the bar, but it's part of the judges' scoring.
I respect the ruling. I just had Gilbert Burns winning that fight. Regardless, though, I feel like what we saw on Saturday does not mean that he's better than Gilbert Burns. You know what I'm saying? We know the history there, but that doesn't tell me he's better than Usman, Leon Edwards. It doesn't tell me that he's better than anybody, but I would love to see how that shakes out in the future.
So a lot of people are talking about what is the next fight to make for Chimaev.
He can't make weight. He don't deserve a title shot, bro. I'm getting tired of this shit.
Well, he's been talking about
You
moving
change
up.
the rules for people.
He's been talking about moving up a class and
So if
fighting
you
like
move up a class
Paulo
now, you have have to remake your case for the number one contendership.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got to start from
So
the
you
bottom of
got
that
a good
division.
3-4 people to get through now too. Yeah.
He wants to do both simultaneously, but I don't know if that's possible given how often fighters fight. But I think that Edwards and Usman are going to get an immediate rematch probably in the next 3-4 months. We'll see in December or early next year.
Yeah.
And then, to me, Covington, Chimaev makes the most sense because they're the number 2 and number 3 contenders in the welterweight division. And, I mean, that way you'll have a clear-cut contender
I just
for
don't
the
wait.
winner of that title fight.
Weight, bro.
I just don't like
Rematch.
giving him another number one contendership after he just obliterated the whole card because he was 8 pounds overweight. But that's me.
But also he's the number 3.
A whole card.
He's ranked number
I
3.
don't
So
give a
who
fuck.
else are you gonna put him against?
I don't give a
Yes.
fuck. You can't make weight, nigga. That's like giving somebody a promotion and they can't get to work on time. This is literally your job, bro. Make weight, nigga. Make weight.
It was an egregious error for sure.
Speaking of number ones,
yeah,
though.
speaking of
Potentially an
number
intentional
ones. Speaking of number ones, we have a new number one on top of the college football rankings. So this weekend was upsets galore. Who managed to not get upset, or at least stay away from an upset, of course. The University of Georgia, defending national champions. They took over the number one spot after dismantling a school called Samford.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was cute. But what was really interesting is the fact that Alabama stood to 2, mainly because of how they struggled against Texas. Remember how I was talking about that game? Everyone thought, ooh, here comes Big Bad Alabama running into, give another one of his former assistants a nice kick in the ass real quick, like, yo, bro, I'm still big bro around here. And they gave it to him for a little bit. Pause. Yes. Oh yes. But nah, it was a very intense game. I wasn't expecting it to be as close as it was 2019. Y'all caught that game?
I didn't.
I ain't catch that game. I caught some of the highlights, but it's interesting to me to see how hard Nick Saban was pushing back over the off season about some stuff that's transpiring, and seeing how it manifests into the season. Not just in him, but also we spoke about Jimbo Fisher. We spoke about
that was the biggest upset of the weekend.
yeah, and we also spoke about LSU last week. So I think it's real interesting to see how this stuff is manifesting in the season.
Damn, I definitely want to like send some love out to Marcus Freeman, because coach of Notre Dame, he lost again this week. This time that was another upset of the weekend to Marshall, and not only did he lose that game, he also lost his quarterback for the year in the process. So Notre Dame's gonna be a little rocky this first year under Coach Freeman, but I have faith that he'll pull it together. Maybe not this year entirely as we hope. Like, he'd probably make a bowl still, but playoff hopes are gone. Someone else's playoffs hopes is on the break, as you mentioned before. Texas A&M, after, like I said, that was the biggest upset of the weekend, losing to Appalachian State, who the week before had a 63-61 game against North Carolina. That's why I'm just like, you know what? For all the shit that Nick Saban was talking about and Jimbo Fisher was talking about, now with what happened this weekend, their matchup in October looks even crazier now. Because whoever wins that, like, that's it. Because even though he has this loss on his resume, Jimbo Fisher, if he beats Alabama during SEC play,
All sins forgiven.
but
That's a big if, though.
it's a big if. It's a big if. And also, shout out to USC also making the top 10, because with everything we were talking about with Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison going over there, like, they look amazing. And we've seen Lincoln Riley do this before. It's called the 2018 Oklahoma season with Kyler Murray.
And
Anyway.
you know, teams are. We reported last week about the CFB playoff expansion.
Yeah.
teams aren't just playing for what happens in January anymore. Teams are also vying for position to start climbing up those rankings because now
That gap
they
is
know.
closing.
Now they know
The
that
gap is closing.
number 12 will have an opportunity to compete for a
Yes.
championship coming up. So
And it's also
Yes.
more
gonna
and more important.
increase the ability of like these smaller teams to recruit better talent.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Every New Year's Six bowl game will be a quarterfinal match. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I cannot wait. They better hurry that shit up too. They're saying the next couple of years, but I think it should be the next year or so. Especially since I'm pretty sure Alabama's still going to win the national championship. I have that on record. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to take another. No, we're not. We're going to news. We have news breaks, guys. News breaks. News breaks. News breaks. All right, so first up on the news, because we got some news breaks to get to. So Steph Curry, I was saying, following in kind of like, well, not so much as LeBron's footsteps, but at the very least,
Nah, say
LeBron did the same thing.
Say it.
Following LeBron's footsteps,
There you go.
locking in a lifetime contract now with Under Armour. So, and this also is going to be worth more than $1 billion reportedly, and and this comes in between like the reported rift that they had before, like the two-time NBA MVP and Under Armour founder Kevin Plank. They've had differences back and forth. How significant do you think this is? He's about to lock in this $1 billion deal with Under Armour.
I mean, it's huge for Curry, obviously. Like that's gonna.
I think it's huge for Under Armour.
I'm about to say, you talking about a rift. Ain't no rift if I pay all the bills, nigga.
Fact.
What
I think
you
this
rifting
is.
about?
I think this is a win for Under Armour. Basketball players don't really wear Under Armour unless it's Curry. So.
Meaning in
Yeah.
how old are these basketball players that you speak of?
Yeah.
But do you think that's really going to move the needle and make Under Armour a more palatable brand to
Well, no,
Here's your
NBA
foundation,
players?
though.
Or-
secure the foundation.
So here's the thing, right? It allows you to keep doing business in the future, even if like this isn't something that moves the needle. It keeps
Yeah.
the needle where it is because if you lose Steph, it's over.
basically, it kicks
They don't have
something
any
off.
league. They don't have any big major super college programs. They don't have any super endorsed athletes outside of Steph.
Yep.
When you see Under Armour, you're pretty much looking at a picture of Steph Curry's face.
Exactly.
Like, bro, the logo looks like a mouthpiece, bro.
Why? Why Aaron say it?
Because it's Steph Curry shoe.
I had to get that out there. But speaking of kicking things off for somebody, someone that's not going to be kicking anymore
Yo,
is
Philip.
I'm just like, listen, because I gotta highlight it because it was the main thing amongst.
I don't like
very
that segue,
bad-
bro. I don't like how
Yeah,
you had
but
to do that,
but your
bro.
team didn't lose the game.
That's not the point. We should have won it.
I'm talking about Rodrigo Blankenship, ladies and gentlemen, former kicker for Aces Indianapolis Colts.
Now the Aces Indianapolis, because never Aces Indianapolis Colts when some good shit happened.
No,
But when niggas start
damn,
missing
what are
kicks,
we talking about?
when niggas start missing kicks,
How did
now
we
it's
start the
Aces
show?
Indianapolis
How
Colts.
did we start the show, though? I started the show publicly ripping my team, okay?
Yeah, but that's your secondary team. It ain't like
It's not-
you came over here Giants K, nigga. It ain't like you gave Dave Jones the work that he deserved to get.
Because I already
after
know.
the way he
Because I
played.
know what the Giants are doing.
I'm just saying, bro.
I know what the Giants are doing.
Just
We don't care
They're
about
winning,
this
they're winning
season.
games.
Report, Phil. Report.
Unlike the
Anyway.
Jets, unlike Colts, unlike the Broncos.
Hey.
Don't put me in there with
Hey,
y'all
J-
niggas.
Leave
put me
the
in
Colts
there with y'all.
alone. They didn't lose. The Jets lost the game, bro.
They did. They played terrible.
So
There you
don't
go.
put me in there
Deserve
with
to
y'all
lose that
losing
game.
ass niggas.
There you
please.
go.
They're
If Blankenship makes that field goal, we're having a different conversation, are we not?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But make
And
sure
this
you
is
call
about
them
the
Aces
kickers.
Indianapolis Colts when some good shit has happened.
Of course.
I just want to be
I
clear.
said that when y'all got Matt Ryan. I was like, yes, this is exactly what y'all need. I said this.
Yeah, but you didn't say Aces Indianapolis Colts at that time. It was
Yes.
just the Indianapolis Colts. But when some bad shit happened,
all
Now
of a
it's
sudden,
Aces Indianapolis Colts. I just found that very interesting. But go ahead and report, for I ain't trying to step on your toes, no pun intended.
Anyway.
he's got a job to do.
Yes. So, Rodrigo Blankenship was waived by the by Aces. Come on, by the Colts, by your Colts on on Tuesday. He made both of his extra points, but and 2 of his field goal attempts, but missed the 42-yarder that would have secured the victory. So,
And he also
of
couldn't
course-
keep his fucking kickoffs in fucking bounds.
Yep.
Get him the fuck out of here. Nigga kicked the ball on the kickoff out of bounds like 3 times, my nigga. Get him the fuck out of here.
Oh man. Well, there you go on that particular point. Next up, next up on news. So we all know the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight that's coming up later on in October. So they had their press conference earlier this week, and Jake Paul told Dana White that he wants to wager $5 million on the fight, saying, "Let's make a bet. Let's put let's put $5 million on it. But I bet you won't, Dana, because you're a bitch."
Yeah, I mean, that's the real ongoing fight. That's gonna be dragging on for years.
Exactly. Let's talk about that fucking fight.
I mean, as much as I dislike Jake Paul, I do like how he's advocating for higher fighter pay, and that's that elephant in the room that Dana White never wants to address.
Oh,
A lot of that is politicians speak as well, and I'm not buying into that Jake Paul hype. Like, the UFC is still a baby. That
you know, it's
fighter pay
$billions.
will eventually even out. But in the meantime, it is what it is. The champions get paid pretty reasonably, so.
Mm-hmm.
it
But
is it
what
is.
about all of the amateurs? The people who have fought.
Go get good, nigga. The fuck.
Get good.
I got a question for you, and this will put everything in perspective for you. Would you rather be a middle of the pack boxer or a middle of the pack UFC fighter?
Ooh.
Neither. But I would rather have a middle of the pack doctor performing surgery on
Bro,
me.
what does that have to do with the question? We talking about fighter pay, bro.
Oh boy.
You would financially speaking, you would much rather be a middle of the pack UFC fighter than a middle of the pack boxer, because only the top 3% of boxers get paid, and that's why this whole fighter pay shit looks so skewed. Because niggas see the Canelos and the Mayweathers and the Errol Spencers fight purses.
That's
Whole time, those is only 5 people on the planet Earth that's getting paid that type of money in that sport.
Seriously.
It's not like that for the UFC.
Oh man.
I mean,
No,
I don't know
good
how
point.
much professional boxers get paid.
I'm telling
for
you would rather be a middle of the pack
but
UFC
it,
fighter.
it can't be much more because
It's
the
not.
UFC
It's-
fighters get
not a
I'm
lot
telling
more.
you, you would rather be a middle of the pack UFC fighter than a middle of the pack boxer, bro. I'm
Shit.
telling you the truth, bro.
That's a whole other segment for another time.
we're
'cause
gonna
there is
have
a
to have
huge
someone
difference. Yeah,
do some
because
research
there
on this.
is a specific difference. So that's something else we'll get to at another time. But speaking on getting to things at other times, let's talk about a new document that's in the documentary that's in the works, put together by LeBron and Dwayne Wade on the Redeem Team. Big shout out to rest in power the late great Kobe Bryant, who's of course, who was part of that team. But Netflix recently dropped a trailer for it on the untold story of the squad that brought U.S. men's basketball to the top of the mountain at the Beijing Olympics. So, how y'all feel about another really good sports documentary on the way? I think this is going to be pretty dope.
I need it. All the good sports documentaries
Hey.
injected into my veins. Last chance.
Let's get it, Netflix!
The untold shit that they got going on with Netflix right now, all of that shit,
Last
put it
Dance.
in my
Yeah.
veins. Last Dance, all that. I need all that. Real quick though, top of your head, you got 2 seconds to answer. Dream Team or Redeem Team?
Oof. Dream Team.
Dream Team.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, but I gotta say Dream
I'm
Team.
taking the Redeem Team. It's only one thing I gotta worry about on the Dream Team. For real.
That's true. That's why it's so tough. Can't with you. Speaking of tough, last bit of news. So the Appalachian State Mountaineers, after upsetting number 6, Texas A&M, they had to sleep in their hotel hallways and lobby after their win because of travel issues that delayed their return home until Sunday. So rather than fly home as triumphant victors, they had to sleep in the lobby and hallways of the hotel in College Station because all the rooms were booked everywhere else. So they didn't fly out until 4:30 in the morning and didn't get back to campus in Boone, North Carolina until about 11 a.m.
Somebody fucked up.
Somebody fucked up.
Somebody that was responsible for booking that hotel fucked up.
Hey, listen.
I don't feel like you said that Texas A&M was getting killed. I don't know if Texas A&M deserves that smoke because I'm pretty sure they don't have nothing to do with the bookings of Appalachian State. But you feel me? Somebody fucked up and somebody.
Oh no, they have all the power to.
You're right. That's
book.
football country. They
football
kind of
country.
different over there. So
Yeah. They come through with the bags of money. Like, here, we're gonna give you this amount of money to lose to us horribly. All right.
But yeah, I just looked at the rosters. Dream Team, way better. Way better
We don't argue that at a different
And
time.
we gotta argue that at a different time, but we're gonna take a short break real quick, and then when we get back, we're gonna take a quick look at NFL games of the week, look at fantasy updates, and get to, of course, our favorite time of the night, and that's Ace's Hate List. So don't go anywhere, y'all. We'll be right back after this. It's TBR Episode 2, Season 3.
On September the 11th, 2022, Team Big Bucks secured their first victory in the TBR Fantasy League against the Trench Baby Block Spinners. This is their story. Some people think they understand, but they don't understand, see. They wish you luck, but
Yeah,
you don't need that.
go dummy, Kyle.
I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, cause I'm up. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, cause I'm up. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, cause I'm up. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, cause I'm up. Look at the score, 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 look at it. You got this much, but I got more. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, cause I'm up. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, cause I'm up. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, cause I'm up. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, no. My QB name Josh Allen, he's shooting like Ray Allen. I don't need luck, cause I always been up. I'm winning, of course, I settle in scores. I don't need luck, I don't need luck, no. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, no. I don't need luck, I don't give a fuck, no.
And welcome back to the Break Room Sports Podcast, everybody. Had to catch y'all real quick. Y'all still with us, of course, ladies and gentlemen. So, I want to take a quick look. Episode 2 of this season, of course. Of course, we had the pilot with us having our first ever fantasy football draft. So let's take a look at how some of us did week 1. Some of us in the room who happen to be in the losers bracket at the moment, myself included.
And me.
I mean, you almost had it, bro.
I thought I was winning.
And then all of a sudden,
Monday, it was the last game, the Monday night
yeah,
game.
I think it was
Or the Sunday night game.
No, it was a Sunday night game that I think that they got you there. It was a Sunday night game because remember Javonte Williams didn't even do all that. He had some good yards and Brandon McManus. Let's not talk about that again. But Nah, it was Sunday that really killed me. Like I had the pleasure of watching President Jefferson, president of the United States of Receivers, totally go crazy for 39.4 points. Oh man, that was crazy. So full stats from so we had Homie Azario, Millennium Falcons. He had 161.92 points. He came in first right after NY up the score. So they face each other this week. So that's going to be some fireworks in our league. And also some more fireworks in our league. I mean, Josh Allen's Josh Allen, but I'm looking forward to seeing how you do against Nick this week. I'm pretty sure you're going to have some heat for him.
Listen. A nigga made a diss song to me.
Yes. Aaron made a diss song.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Go ahead. I'll let you say it. I'll let you tell it.
A nigga made a diss song to me halftime of the primetime game on Sunday night.
Because of Leonard Fournette? I'm telling you,
the game wasn't even over, bro. I still had a whole wide receiver that had to play. And the nigga celebrated his victory before my players was even done playing. The disrespect. I said all of that to say this. Phil, what's the name of my team, man?
Trench Baby Block Spinners.
Say that last part again, man.
Block Spinners.
We spinning the block. Alright? For starters, you feel me? I have circled the date for when I see Mr. Aaron Ross again.
Oh boy.
You feel me?
Oh boy, yes he has. He'll be ready at that point.
However, we on a warpath now, you feel me? See, the first time when they come through with the blick out the window, you never know what's going on. Niggas is in shambles. But you really gotta look out for the next time when they spin the block, you feel me? And now, we done took our loss. We coming to get our lick back, you feel me? Now we spinning the block. So let me say this right now, bro. That stepdad nigga, bro.
Yo, Nick, he was top 3. He had 136.
That stepdad nigga better guard the fuck up, man.
Yo, Nick.
He not even Nick. He not Nick the model. He is that stepdad nigga. You feel me? He that stepdad nigga. You feel me? Man. And my name ain't Jody. You feel me?
Meanwhile, Aaron up next. He has to go up against. Shout outs to DJ Southside. He's in our league as well. You gotta go see him and Tom Brady. So it's gonna be a battle of the Bucks over there. Matt has you face Blockwork next. So you face Cash next.
Okay.
I'm facing Charlie Brown next. I'm facing Villains next. And of course we got you and that step.
Where is he? You see he ain't here, bro. He ducking the smoke already, bro.
Oh man.
Hey yo, Aaron, where is he?
Oh man.
Matt, where is he?
Watch him come back and talk that shit. Hey yo, Nick. Switch up your lineup, bro.
He ducking the smoke, bro.
Yes. But with that being said, real quick before we get to the final segment, we're going to take a quick look at, there's 2 games that we all need to pay attention to, some of us with our fantasy implications
What are those
intact. First one we definitely got to look at is the big one tomorrow, which is going to be nothing short of a shootout. Talking about Chargers at Chiefs.
Who you got?
Okay.
Woo!
Chiefs.
Oh man, I think I'm going to say Chiefs on this one, bro.
I got my boy Jay Herbo.
I'm going to say, I love Jay Herbo, but that offensive line, bro.
That defensive line, bro.
That's what it's gonna come down to. Which line holds up?
Yo.
Which line really holds up, bro? Is it gonna be that defense, or is it gonna be the best offensive line I saw all weekend? Like, Mahomes had his way, bro.
Listen, I'm giving the break roomies homework. You feel me? Y'all go out and look at which pass rush got the most active sacks in the league right now.
Shit, I might have to start the Chargers in fantasy because I got them in my other league.
Hey man, all I gotta say is that's the homework.
Shit. Who you got? Who do you have in that matchup, man?
Is it the Chargers?
I'm not gonna.
You got the
do your
Chargers
homework
too?
for you.
No, I think the Chiefs are gonna win.
The Chiefs are gonna win.
I'm
It's gonna be a shootout.
believer.
It's gonna be a shootout. I have a close one. I'm gonna say like 38-35 Chiefs. It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a shootout, but a close one. And then after that, we have what I think is gonna be a close one, but also fireworks is the Monday night game after Titans versus Bills. I'm pretty sure. I think we all know how that game's gonna end. But when it comes to the Vikings and Eagles, Monday night. So we saw what the Eagles are doing right now. All they needed was a number one receiver. They got it. And we saw how, like I said, President Jefferson totally demolished Green Bay by himself.
Eagles run game too. That time of possession might really end up being an issue.
Yes.
But it wasn't an issue for Detroit. But they also got a great running attack to be able to battle with that TOP thing too. So.
And let's not
They
forget
got
about
Dalvin Cook up there too. So
Dalvin Cook. I was just about to say,
it's
like,
gonna be interesting.
like someone's cracking 40. Like I don't have a score for this game, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Get your popcorn ready. And as such, definitely get your popcorn ready for this, ladies and gentlemen, because you already know what time it is. It's the one, the only, Aces Hate List. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, Ace the Legend.
Alright, so sometimes this hate list is hard to put together because it ain't shit going on. Like, but nobody hate better than me, so I'll find somebody to hate.
I know who should be on your hate list.
Other times, it's hard because there's so many people to hate. It's hard to figure out the top 5. And that's what happened this week. Because it was a lot of hateable shit that happened this week. But I'm going to start with number 5. Choke Hackett. Listen, bro.
Only 5?
Bear with me.
Okay.
You feel me?
Made the list.
Now, we touched
Happy
on some of the
numbers.
things that happened with Choke Hackett earlier. That's his name. You feel me? His name is Choke now. It may end up being Choke, no joke. I don't know. But we gonna work it out. You feel me? So, we got a virgin head coach
Facts.
with a brand new quarterback
Facts.
whose starters took the field 0 times in the preseason.
Facts.
I don't know if you know how much 0 is, but I saw as much preseason snaps as they starters did, you feel me? Now, it might look like I could play running back on some days, but I can't, you feel me? I'm a regular nigga. And that's the way he coached the game, like a regular nigga. Not like an NFL coach. Like a regular nigga. It was disgusting. You paid the nigga $256 million.
Like a
You know how much
regular
256 is? You know how much 256 is?
It's a lot.
Add $1 million on that.
It's
Yeah,
more.
that's
It's
a
more
lot.
than we're all probably gonna make in our.
To kick a
entire life together.
64-yard field goal with, listen, it was disgusting. Only reason why he's only number 5 and not number 4, 3, 2, or 1 is because it was his first game.
I
But
suppose.
it's another nigga who was in a new situation that's number 4. Unleashed Baker motherfucking Mayfield. Unleashed. The nigga put the L in unleashed. Bro, it was terrible, bro. He was getting smoked. He was getting smoked. He was getting smoked. This nigga done went out and did merch deals like a rapper
Yo,
to
I
sit there
cannot.
and lose to Jacoby Brissett, who I got love for as a Colt fan.
Of course.
But it's
as you
Jacoby
should.
Brissett. Week 1 of the fucking season, after he was talking all of that unleashed shit, thank you, Jesus, underdog, Baker Mayfield shit. That nigga needs a dog. You feel me? Because he's a fucking dog. You feel me? Dog shit, as a matter of fact.
Big
Number
facts.
3, also dog shit. Robert Sarver. And the only
Yep.
reason why he not number 2 or number 1 is because we been knew he was shitty. You feel
Yeah.
me? There's no surprises on this Robert Sarver nigga. He's disgusting. You feel me? We don't even need to get into all of the shit that he said and did. We just need to know that he's terrible. He's a terrible governor. He's a terrible person. And if you
Period.
want to know more, you can do your
Period.
research.
What is
But
this
it's like,
Governor's
obviously,
orders?
there's a curse on that Phoenix franchise. And you know when I knew it was a curse? When I seen a nigga stop the ball and then get back to stop the lob. That shit only happens to cursed niggas. I never even seen no shit like that before. Has anybody else?
Nope. Nope.
How the fuck do you go from the free throw line,
Nope.
forcing the nigga to pick? I ain't even see that shit in 2K. Honestly, he should be out the league, but I don't even care. It might be better that he's in the league, stuck in that fucking terrible ass franchise. Fuck him.
They deserve each other.
Fuck him.
Yeah, basically.
Fuck him. Free Devin Booker.
Yes. Get him out
Number
of there.
2 is Khamzat Chimaev. How the
Of
fuck?
course.
How do you miss weight by 8 pounds, my nigga?
Of course.
When niggas say,
It
yo,
wasn't an
he
accident.
8 pounds over, I'm thinking, damn, that nigga spending British money or something, my nigga. There's no way in the fuck. He 8 physical pounds over.
Yeah.
That's out of pocket. That's disgusting. They done remodeled the whole card. They did renovations on the card because this nigga was too heavy.
They needed to have like all of their contract people come out and renegotiate all these fights with the fighters like
They needed to tell the nigga
immediately,
you're not
the day
fighting.
before it happened.
But we know the UFC not doing that because a month ago or so, when they asked Dana, who do you think could be the next McGregor? Who did this nigga say? Chimaev, who can't make weight.
In other words,
I
when
can't
you
get
say McGregor,
over
you mean
how
two weight
weird
class
it
champions.
is.
No. A polarizing figure. A person that could take this UFC shit to the next level. But we know how Dana White feel about Europeans.
Oh yeah.
Number 1. Now you feel me? Every now and then we got a special hate list member. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's cause a nigga so ass that he deserves to be a special number 1.
Okay.
That's not this.
Okay.
This is a person that's just shitty as a person. Legend in the field of competition. Shitty in the field of human being. Brett Favre is my number 1 on the hate list this week. Now, for the people that don't know,
Yeah.
Brett Favre is from the state of Mississippi. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Talk about it.
And this nigga put the crooked in the crooked letter, crooked.
Bro. Oh my God.
How the fuck are you from the poorest state in the United States of America and then still from the poorest
capita.
people of the poorest state of the United States of America
No, that shit
to
is
build
insane.
a volleyball court in your alma mater?
That's...
Bro, he stole welfare money, $5 million worth of welfare money to build a volleyball court. Now, we've been hearing for years that Brett Favre is a shitty person.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When you look at him, he'll wrangle a jean wearing motherfucker. We don't need to expound on that.
Yeah.
But for a person's legacy to be so high as it pertains to the hierarchy of the quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, how do you then proceed to tarnish that legacy by just being a shitty person? You know how hard it is to tarnish your legacy in sports in America? OJ killed 2 people and his legacy was not tarnished until he said, alright, we're gonna do this again. And he black, bro. We know how America feel about
There you
their
go.
white sports figures.
That's the thing
And
right
he
there.
managed to destroy that by being a shitty person.
Yep. 100%.
That's disgusting, bro. I hope they take his ass to jail.
You know,
I hope they treat him like they treating the PPP loan scammers and they treating the welfare scammers and all of the other people scamming government programs. Cause at least when they doing it to come up. Some niggas need to eat. This nigga did it to watch motherfuckers spike volleyballs. You are disgusting, and I hope you go to fucking jail.
Yeah, you know, he made so many millions as a quarterback over his career. Like
150 plus.
Yep.
so, I mean, you really want the
When niggas
volleyball
is
court that
shitty,
much, you know? Like,
Niggas is gonna be
could have
shitty.
paid for it.
You could have did anything. You could have
Instead of
started
taking
a
it from the
drive.
welfare.
You could have
Don't be shitty.
Bro.
It don't fucking matter.
Bro, you could have started a drop. You could have did special Brett Favre quarterback camps
Could've
to
done a
raise
lot of
money. It's a
things.
lot of different shit you could have did other
they
than
did not.
stealing shit. They wanted to kill Jameis for stealing crab legs.
They did.
This nigga
Yeah,
stole
that's
$5
right.
million from poor people. That is the equivalent of we in New York City going past a motherfucker that's panhandling and sticking our hand in the cup and taking their money, bro.
No, for sure.
It's
I mean,
disgusting,
that's
bro.
even worse than coming in a weight class overweight to your fight.
And that's how you get to number one on the hate list. So this has been the second edition of the hate list of season 2.
Fire.
You feel me? Who hate better than me?
Nobody, baby.
Who you bailing out, Phil?
I'm not bailing anyone out, but I do want to add an honorable mention to the hate list, if I may. I want to add Sean McVay to that hate list. I want to add Sean McVay to that hate list because you started this trend of people not playing in the preseason. They started it. LA started it. Because before they started this trend of, like players not playing, they started with Jared Goff, with Sean McVay saying like, listen, there's no point in playing these preseason games. Oh, all the penalties, all the missed kicks, all the injuries that happened this weekend. Yeah, it definitely plays a factor, and also it definitely played a factor in the way that the Bills came through and demolished y'all on ring night. So
I'll give him some bail, bro.
you can give him some bail, sure, but I'll just, as an honorable mention,
I got
think
a
he needs
couple
to atone
honorable
for that.
mentions. Russ was an honorable mention.
I'm surprised he wasn't on the hate list.
He would have been if it wasn't for Brett Favre.
It wasn't for
Robert
Brett
Saleh.
Favre fucking up. That's why I didn't argue.
Aaron
with
Rodgers was an honorable mention as well. But
I mean,
I have a feeling we gonna circle back to that Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, we're gonna circle back. That's why I didn't think of Aaron Rodgers, because I was like, he does this to all receivers.
We
at
gonna
this point.
have-
If you miss shit from him, he's gonna ghost you. So I didn't have.
It wasn't just that. But don't worry.
I know, it's
he
more
gonna
than
give
that.
us the opportunity
He will.
to roast his ass too.
Just like the Cowboys, when something can go wrong, it will go wrong. But yes, that notwithstanding, brilliant hate list. I have no one to bail out. Baker Mayfield was a very welcome surprise because I knew he was going to lose that game the moment I saw the shirts. Remember, I told you that last week. He was going to lose the game. The moment I saw the shirts, I was like, he's losing the game.
He needs to drop a new shirt.
Lose the game.
With a small U
Lose the
in,
game.
big L leash.
Thank you.
I got a little bone to pick.
Who you
Ooh.
I got
got?
a little bail to give.
For who?
Ooh.
Khamzat Chimaev.
No way.
No, nah. Nope.
Not for his
Nah, make
flippant
weight, nigga.
attitude to
That's
towards the
ridiculous.
making weight.
That's part of it.
But because, I really believe it was a planned thing that he did. He wanted to come in
So you
overweight.
think he
So
did
you
this on-
bailing him out for doing this shit for being a
so
fat ass on purpose?
Here's the thing, right?
It's worse.
Is that the UFC rewards the most I don't know, showboaty, outlandish, egotistical personalities because that's what sells tickets.
Yeah,
right?
but they
People
don't
like to
support
see-
that in you not making weight.
Yeah,
Your
look,
job description
it was
is to
crazy.
fight at a certain weight.
Mhm.
And he didn't. You cannot give that nigga a title shot if he can't make the fucking weight. Have you ever seen Dana White after a nigga don't make weight? Watch him after a nigga miss a pound. a half a pound. Niggas be doing all types of shit. They be getting naked. Can't make the weight. Can't get that half a pound.
Hilarious, bro.
And
Hilarious.
this nigga missed it by 8 fucking pounds.
Yeah. And that's what's most egregious. The fact that it was 8 pounds. If it was like 2 or like 3, like I don't think any. 8 pounds. That's a whole other weight class.
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out to one nigga, one very special black man, Mike Tomlin, for doing the AB dance after that.
Yo, that was great. Put that shit on. They played a song too. After forcing the fucking turnovers on the fucking Bengals, it was great. That was hilarious, man.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Oh man, but ladies and gentlemen,
Been a great week.
yes, great week. We like I said, we got a shootout to look forward to tomorrow. But episode 2 of season 3 is in the books. Yes, indeed. Breaking the horse's back.
Pause.
Yes, and we're back. But yes, this episode is going to be up on YouTube momentarily. In the meantime, make sure that you subscribe. This has been the Breakroom Sports Podcast, of course. Yo, Ace, where can they find you, fam?
At ACETHELEGYND on all platforms. Who hate better than me?
Nobody, baby. Matt, where can they find you, bro?
You can find me at Math U D.
Underscores, right?
Like the subject underscore. Yeah, the word
It's on
U.
the screen, bro.
Yeah. Just
That way,
and yes,
I forgot.
Of course, it's your boy Phil, aka Scorpio P. Find me on all social media at Mr. Philliams. That's MrPhilliams. Music on all shipping platforms. Scorpio P. Period at the end of the P. It makes a difference. Trust me. And as always, of course, shout out to our producer, Mr. Aaron Ross, as always, holding us down. Good luck against Southside this week, bro. Represent for TBR out here.
Make sure you do a good job of making a diss song to him too.
Facts.
Since you want this nigga,
because he's a DJ. You know what time it is. You hear this Southside? You hear this Southside? He's coming for you too. Big
Make sure
bucks
you
out
dance
here.
on the couch for him too.
Big bucks out here.
Where can I hear all these diss tracks?
Don't worry, I'll play it for you. I have it saved to my
I'm
phone.
gonna post it tomorrow once it's confirmed. You know, the start of the new football week.
Yes.
It's confirmed now.
I'm gonna post it tomorrow with the episode drops and stuff.
Let's do it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But yes, everyone, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the football games going on this weekend. Good luck in your fantasy leagues as always. It's your boy Phil K. Scorpio P. Everyone here at the Fine Motive Studios. We'll see you next time right here on the Breakroom Sports Podcast. Until next time, peace and love.
Night.